Very good morning, students. So in my previous video I've explained you about the structure of atom, discovery of protons and discovery of electrons, that how they are discovered and what is the structure of atom. Now today we are going to learn about the discovery of the atomic nucleus, how neutrons are formed and what is nucleus. So today we are going to cover the topics Rutherford atomic model and its drawbacks, Bohr's model of atom, neutron and its characteristics. So let's get started. So we first want to study about the discovery of neutrons. So that is discovered by Rutherford by its alpha particle scattering experiment. So in 1911, Rutherford performed a unique experiment on the scattering of alpha particles. Alpha particles are positively charged helium atoms which are projected against the sheet of metal in this experiment. So alpha particles are basically bounded having four atoms in which two protons and two neutrons are bonded together, and like this it makes a bonded a four helium atom structure, and they usually develop during the time of alpha decay. So in this he used a piece of radium in this as the source of alpha particles as a radioactive emission, and he used a piece of radium as a source of alpha particle, and this experiment is called alpha particle scattering experiment. Now in this experiment what he has done, that the alpha particles were allowed to fall on the thin gold foil, and a thin layer of malleable metal is required. So gold is the thinnest metal, and in this experiment Rutherford used the gold foil because he wanted a thin layer in which the transmission of the rays of alpha particles is possible. So while performing this experiment, what he has observed that most of the alpha particles pass through the foil without any deflection. Now here you have to pay attention on this one diagram to understand the observation which he has made in this experiment. You can see the diagram. This is the beam of alpha particles, and from here this is the radium from where the alpha rays will transmit, and here it is the gold foil on which the rays has to be fallen and has to be scattered, and this movable fluorescent screens are around the gold foil. Now what he has observed in his experiment, that most of the alpha particles pass through the foil without any deflection. So here you can see this A are the transmitted beam where which are not deflected at all. As you can see that rays which are named as A, they are straightly passed through the foil. And next thing that he has observed that a small fraction were deflected through small angles. So here these rays B are slightly deflected as it attracts it to get collide with some of the atoms in the foil, and it will be deflected a little bit. Then third, he has observed that only a very few alpha particles, 1 in 12,000, suffered a deflection of 180 degree. So here this is large deflection of alpha particles is shown by the rays C. So these three are the observation which he had made from this experiment, that some alpha particles will pass straight, some will be deflected a little bit, and some rays will go through the deflection of 180 degree. So from this observation he has concluded that very little space is in an atom is occupied by matter. Okay, Most of the matter are not occupying space. A very little amount of space is occupied by any matter by atom in the matter, and most of the matter in an atom is located at the center, and at the center positive charge is concentrated, and only such an atom could account for behavior of alpha particles striking a metal sheet. So from here he has concluded these four things, that a very little amount of the space is occupied by atoms in any matter. Like here it is metal is a matter and it is made up of atoms. So in any atom a very little amount of space is occupied. It does not cover so much space of the matter, and very few are there which rotate, and all the atoms of the matter are at the center of the matter, concentrated at the center of the matter. So this line of reasoning led Rutherford to suggest the nuclear model of atom. On the basis of this experiment, Rutherford suggested the nuclear model of atom, in which he has given certain points, that atom has positively charged central part, that is called nucleus. Electrons are distributed around nucleus. Mass of an atom is concentrated at nucleus, and compared with total volume of an atom, the volume of nucleus is major. So this is all about the Rutherford's atomic model, where he has discovered about nucleus, that most of the mass of any atom is at the center or at the core, and that core of the atom is called its nucleus, where all the positive charges are there, and the mass of the nucleus is almost equal to the mass of that particular atom. It means that almost total mass of any atom is in its nucleus. So this is about the Rutherford atomic model, which is given by Ernest Rutherford. Now, with every atomic model there are some drawbacks which come with that. So the drawbacks of Rutherford model was that an electrically charged particle in motion radiate energy, and therefore the revolving electron should lose energy and fall into the nucleus, leading to the total collapse of the atom. But this does not happen. We know that atoms are quite stable. Thus Rutherford model cannot explain the stability of atom. Now here, as we say that in the atomic structure, I have explained you that positive charges are at the center, and the electron revolve around the nucleus in its particular orbit. So the question is that if the electron is revolving continuously, obviously it will radiate some amount of energy, and if it will radiate some amount of energy, then it should be dropped down. It should not rotate around the nucleus, but it does not drop down, and every electron rotate around its orbit continuously without any dropout in the energy. So why this is so? Why the electrons are stable? Why atoms are stable? Why? What is the reason that these electrons are not dropping down from their orbit and having their transition energy to rotate around the nucleus? So the Rutherford atomic model was not able to explain this stability of an atom. So this was the drawback of Rutherford atomic model. Now, in order to overcome this drawback of Rutherford atomic model, the discovery of neutron was done by Bohr. Niels Bohr in 1931 gave the postulates of its model. Prior to the discovery of neutron, to remove the difficulty encountered in the Rutherford model of the atom, Niels Bohr in 1913 gave the following postulates about the model of an atom. Now, what postulates of Niels Bohr has given it is a model of an atom, that in an atom the electrons revolve around the nucleus in certain circular paths called orbit. Here you can see different lines are there. They are called circular path, they are called orbits. Each of these orbit is associated with certain amount of energy, and these orbits are known as energy levels or energy shell. Like here we can see that different energy levels are there, K, L, M, N, or we can name it as 1, 2, 3, 4 also. So each orbit has their definite amount of energy. So these are called as energy level, or we can say it energy shells also. As long as an electron revolves in a particular orbit, it neither loses nor absorbs energy. So the reason is that until and unless the electron is revolving around a particular orbit, it will not lose and not gain any kind of energy. So basically there is law of conservation of energy is applied here, that no energy will be created, neither it will be created nor it will be destroyed. And when energy is initially supplied to the atom of electron moves to an orbit of higher energy, when this electron drops back to the original orbit, the absorbed energy is radiated by the atom. Now what happened, that when the electron, just suppose that electron is rotating here on the n shell, on the k shell, l shell, then m, n, like the order of energy level will increase from k to l, l to m, m to n. So if the electron is the energy is supplied to it, and it will move to the n shell, and after that when again it will drop the energy, so the energy which is released by the atom, by the electron, will be transmitted by the atom through the shells. So this is all about the Bohr's model of an atom which he has given. Now from here, in 1920, it was suggested that an uncharged subatomic particle was also present in atoms. Like firstly it was discovered that only protons are there, positive charges are there, negative charges are there, but then at the same time the scientists discovered that if positive and negative charges are there, then why the atom is neutral in nature. Then in 1920 it was suggested that an uncharged subatomic particle was also present in atoms, and the existence of this particle named as neutron, and this was confirmed by J. Chadwick in 1932. The neutron has a mass is essentially of that of the proton or the hydrogen atom, and it is electrically neutral. As the scientists has discovered before that there is positive charges, negative charges, but atoms are electrically neutral in nature. So the same thing make scientists think about the chargeless tiny particle or subatomic particle in the atom, that is named as neutron. So this was discovered by J. Chadwick in 1932. So in 1932, J. Chadwick discovered another subatomic particle which had no charge and a mass nearly equal to that of the proton, and it was eventually named as neutron. Neutrons are present in the nucleus of all atoms except hydrogen. In general, neutron is represented as n, and the mass of an atom is therefore given by the sum of masses of protons and neutrons present in the nucleus. So we can define neutron as, neutron is a subatomic fundamental particle having mass equal to that of hydrogen atom, that is 1u, as hydrogen is the lightest element, and carrying zero charge, and it is represented by as 10n. Now what are the characteristics of neutron? As the name implies, characteristics of neutron is that neutron has no charge on it, it is electrically neutron, and the mass of an individual neutron is 1.672 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram, which is nearly equal to the proton. And neutron do not get deflected under the influence of electric and magnetic field. Why this is so? Because we say that neutron are electrically neutral, they do not have any charge on that, and if they are chargeless, the electric and magnetic field is not going to attract that subatomic particles. Now here are the properties. There is a comparison of properties of proton, neutron and electron. Like electron are the very tiny particles and they rotate around the nucleus in the particular orbit, and energy shells which have a proper amount of energy in their shells, and till the electron are rotating around that orbit, they will not lose any kind of energy and they will not gain any kind of energy. But if that electrons are get transferred from one orbit to another, there will be some gain and some loss of energy through the shells, and that energy will be radiated through the atom. Proton are the positive charges which are situated in the nucleus of an atom and almost cover all the mass of the atom. Then neutron, they are also situated in the nucleus of the atom and are nearly same as the mass of the proton. So basically all the mass of an atom is concentrated in its nucleus. Symbols for it: the electron has E, is represented by small e with having negative charge, proton is represented by P with having positive charge, and neutron is represented by N. On electron there is -1 charge, on proton +1, and neutron is chargeless. Location of the electron: electron crowd around the nucleus, it means in the orbits or in energy shells. Proton and neutron are situated on the nucleus. Now mass: the mass of the electron is very less or negligible. It is 1/1840 times of that of hydrogen atom. Hydrogen itself is a is the lightest element, and the mass of the electron is more lighter than that. So that's why the mass of the electrons are considered negligible. Then proton and neutron have the mass nearly equal to that of the hydrogen atom. So that's why they are having the mass 1 U, that is 1 atomic mass unit. So nucleus, we can say that what is nucleus? Nucleus contains all the protons and neutrons of the atom, and protons and neutrons together are called as nucleons, and the energy released by the nucleus of any atom is called as nuclear energy. So this is all about today's video, and in next video we will discuss about we will learn about atomic number, mass number, and what are the properties of isotopes, what are isotrons, what are valence electron, etc. So till then just see the video and try to understand the concepts of atoms, electrons, protons and neutrons. Thank you. Have a nice day.